Hello everyone, we are from group 3 and our group consists of 4 members. There are Komang, Laksmi, Nararya, Riris, Hendra Efendi, Ayu Devi Pujayani, and Ari Arthawati. Now let's move to the material about needs analysis.
So, what is needs analysis? One of the basic assumptions of curriculum development is that a sound educational program should be based on an analysis of learners' needs. Needs analysis is the procedures used to collect information about learners' needs. Needs analysis was introduced into language teaching through the ESP movement. According to Staffelbeam, McCormick, Brinkerhoff, and Nelson, needs analysis as a distinct and necessary phase in planning educational programs emerged in the 1960s as part of the system approach to curriculum development and was part of the prevalent philosophy of educational accountability. Needs analysis thus includes the study of perceived and present needs as well as potential and unrecognized needs. Okay, the next one is about the purposes of needs analysis. Needs analysis in language teaching may be used for a number of different purposes. Namely, the first one is to find out what language skills a learner needs in order to perform a particular role. The second one is to help determine if an existing course adequately addresses the needs of potential students. The third one is to determine which students from a group are most in need of training in particular language skills. The fourth one is to identify a change of direction that people in a reference group feel is important. The fifth one is to identify a gap between what students are able to do and what they need to be able to do. And the last one is to collect information about a particular problem learners are experiencing. Next, what are needs? According to Brainley, the term needs is sometimes used to refer to wants, desires, demands, expectation, motivation, lacks, constraints, and requirements. Needs are often described in terms of a linguistic deficiency, that is, as describing the difference between what a learner can presently do in a language and what they should be able to do. This suggests the needs have objective reality and are simply there waiting to be identified and analyzed. Planning an ESL curriculum is not only involves identifying students' language needs, but seeks to enable them to critically examine and become active in shaping their own roles in it.
The next material is the uses of need analysis. A need analysis may be conducted for a variety of different uses. For example, the following uses might include in revising the senior high school English curriculum in a particular country. One important step in planning a need analysis is determining the audiences to ensure that the information they need is obtained and provide the impact it is designed to have. In small scale in which need analysis is carried out by a teacher, the audiences might include the teacher, other teachers, and the program coordinator, whereas in large scale, it might include multiple audiences. The next material is the target population of need analysis. This refers to the people about whom the information will be collected. Particularly, the target population in a language programs is the language learners, but others are also often involved depending on the ability to provide useful information in meeting the purposes of the need analysis. For example, the target population in English for Foreign Language program in senior high school consists of the following population. One important thing in determining the targets is sampling, which involves a portion of the potential population as the representative of the total population. There are some factors that influence the approach to sampling, such as the homogeneity. The next is administering the needs analysis. Planning a need analysis involves the decisions about the people that will administer the needs analysis, collect and also analyze the results. Sometimes, a team of personnel is assembled specifically for the purpose of doing the analysis. And at other times, only several teachers that involved. For example, the following people involved in the administrations of needs analysis of English for Foreign Language program at the New Zealand University. In some language programs, Informal needs analysis in the form of communication between teachers and their students is part of a teacher's ongoing responsibilities. The informations of informal needs analysis may complement the informations of formal needs analysis.
Now let's talk about procedures for conducting needs analysis. A variety of procedures can be used in conducting needs analysis, and the kind of information obtained is often dependent on the type of procedure selected. Since any one source of information is likely to be incomplete or partial, a triangular approach is advisable. There are some ways that can be used in conducting needs analysis. First, questionnaire. They are relatively easy to prepare, can be used with large numbers of subjects, and obtain information that is relatively easy to tabulate and analyze. They can also be used to elicit information about many different kinds of issues. A disadvantage of questionnaires is the information obtained may be fairly superficial or imprecise and will often need to follow up to gain a fuller understanding of what respondents intend. Second, self-ratings. Here, the learners or others can assess their competence by themselves. The disadvantage is it only provides impressionistic information which is not very precise. Third, interviews. Interviews can be conducted face-to-face or over the telephone. By doing this, the designer can get clear understanding about the topic or issues before designing questionnaires. Fourth, meetings. Its function is to collect a lot of information in short time. However, the information which is obtained in this way may be impressionistic and subjective and reflect the ideas of more outspoken members of a group. Fifth, observation. It is a kind of activity to observe the learner's attitude. Besides, observation is a specialized skill because to observe something, we need to know how to observe, what to look for, and how to make use of the information obtained. Sixth, collecting learner language samples. This kind of activity is like some tests to be done in collecting learner language samples. One of them is written or oral task, that is collecting learners' written or oral work. Seventh, task analysis. In task analysis, the learners are given a kind of task to be done in English for their future job situation. Eighth, case studies. In case studies, there is a relevant work or educational experience to be done which is followed by a single student or a selected group so that the characteristic of that situation can be decided. And the last one is analysis of available information. In this term, various sources are available in a large amount of relevant information. These include books, journal articles, reports and surveys, and also records and files.
Involves choosing from among the various options discussed above and selecting those that are likely to give comprehensive views of learners' needs and that represent the interests of the different stakeholders involved. Decisions have to be made on the practical procedure involved in collecting, organizing, analyzing, and reporting the information collected. It is important to make sure that the needs analysis does not produce an information overload. There needs to be a clear reason for collecting different kinds of information so as to ensure that only information that will actually be used is collected. In investigating the language needs of non-English background students at the New Zealand University, Graffat, Richards, and Lewis, 1997, the following procedures were used: literature survey, analysis of wide range of survey questionnaires, contact with others who had conducted similar surveys,
interviews with teachers to determine goals,
identification of participating departments, presentation of project proposal of participating departments, and identification of liaison person in each department, development of a pilot students and staff questionnaire, review of the questionnaires by colleagues. Next, piloting of the questionnaires, selection of staff and student subjects, developing a schedule for collecting data, administration of questionnaires, follow-up interviews with selected participants, tabulation of responses, analysis of responses, and the last is writing up of report and recommendation. In smaller scale, needs analysis such as that of a teacher or group of teachers assessing the needs of new groups of students in a language program. Needs analysis procedures may consist of: first, initial questionnaire; second, follow-up individual and group interviews; third, meeting with students; meeting with other teachers; ongoing classroom observation; and the last is test. That's all about the designing of the needs analysis.
Now let's talk about making use of the information obtained. The results of needs analysis will generally consist of information taken from several different kinds. For example, a needs analysis of problem of ESL students attending university lectures was a list of the frequency with which students experience difficulties with speaking and listening skills. One of the most common difficulties reported was large group discussion. However, such a listing provides little useful information about the precise type of problems the learner experienced in relation to each event. Even if more detailed information had been provided, the results would still be impressionistic. In the course of carrying out a needs analysis, a large number of potential needs may be identified, and the mere fact that needs have been identified doesn't automatically imply that changes will have to be made in the curriculum. It is also important to note that needs are subjective interpretations of information from a large variety of sources. Staffelburn et al. Remind us the process of the results of a needs analysis involves efforts that are thoughtful, investigatory, systematic, and carefully recorded so they can be replicated and reviewed. The primary goal of analysis is to bring meaning to the obtained information and to do so in the context of some philosophy, relevant perspectives, and value position that may be in conflict. If there are several different audiences for the needs analysis, the information obtained will have to be analyzed in a form that suits each group's interest. One group may require a brief overview of the findings, while another may be interested in detailed findings.